Okay, in last session, we have seen the types of integrations and the types of runtime engines available and what is meant by environment and all these things. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to deploy the process. So till last session, we have developed the process. Now it's the time for the deployment. So as I have explained yesterday, if I want to deploy the process, first I need to have the environment here. So how to create the environment? How to create the environment? So if I want to create the environment, first I need to go to the manage tab here. Okay. So if I want to create the environment, first what I have to do, so first I need to go to the manage tab and then I have to select atom management. So once after coming to the atom management, here I need to select new button. Under this, I'm going to select the environment. So once after selecting the environment, here I need to give the respective environment name. Now I'm going to give the environment name as test here, and here I need to select the environment classification. So in this environment classification, I'm going to select the test environment here, and I'm going to save this one. Once after saving this one, my environment is ready. Now, as I told you yesterday, if I want to deploy any process, first I need to have the environment, and then each and every environment should be attached with the runtime engine here. Now, this is my environment. So this is the environment page from the environment level. So I need to have the runtime engine attached to this environment. If I want to attach the runtime engine, so here I'm having the list of runtime engines available to attach to this environment, test environment here. So here I'm going to select in the drop down. This is my runtime engine, that is nothing but the Atom here. So I here for this respective environment, if I want to attach this runtime engine Atom, I have to select this one. Automatically this respective runtime engine will be attached to this environment here. So if I want to attach the runtime engine or Atom to the environment from the environment page, I can connect like this here. Okay, this is the environment page. From the environment page, I am attaching the runtime engine here. Okay, now if I click on this environment here, I'll be able to see the list of atoms attached to this respective environment here. Now if I want to detach this atom, okay, sometimes if I want to detach this atom, how I need to detach this one? So if I want to detach this atom, I have to select on this respective atom here. Here I have to select detach from the environment. If I click on this detach from the environment, automatically this runtime engine will get detached from this environment here. Okay, this will be detached from this environment here. Now if I want to attach this atom to the environment from the atom level. Okay, so if I want to attach this atom from the atom level, so I am going to select on this respective atom. So here it is going to ask attach to the environment. Okay, this is from the atom level. So this is the runtime engine. Lenovo is my atom. From this atom level, if I want to attach to this any environment, I have to select this one. If I select this one, in the drop down, I will be able to see which environment I can attach here. So this is the environment available to attach to this environment here. If I select this test environment, so automatically this atom will get attached to this environment here. So this is the test environment. Under the drop down, I am having the runtime engine here. So like this, we can attach or detach the runtime engine or atom to the environment. And if I want to create the environment, how to have to create, I have to select on this new, and then I have to select the environment, and then I have to give the name. Under that, I need to select the environment classification here. Okay, now I have created the environment and everything is ready from my side. Now I am coming back to the process here. This is the process which I have developed 2 days back here. Now as my process is ready, and if I want to deploy this process, now it's the time for the deployment. If I want to deploy this process, first we need to create the packaged component. What is the purpose of packaged component? In the sense, so here we are going to create a package in the sense, whatever the connectors or whatever the shapes, whatever we have used here, all together we are going to pack together in the sense where we are going to compress all the shapes and connectors whatever we have used in the entire process flow here. Now here I'm going to create the packaged component. So before going for the deployment, we need to create the packaged component here. So because of that reason, here I'm going to click on this box symbol. Now it's the time for the packaged component here. So whenever you are practicing in the left hand side, you may face the difficulty here. Okay, you may face the difficulty. Why? Because okay, here we are having screen resolution issue. So at that point in time, what you have to do, you have to use the tab space here. If I use the tab space in the right hand corner, whatever the tabs are available, you'll be able to see here. Now I am going to select add details. So here I need to write the version here. Okay, here I need to give the version. So what is the version here? I'm going to give the 1.0. And what is the process name? Here I need to give the process name. What is the process name? So process name is nothing but CSV to XML transformation here. Now I am going to select create packaged component here. Now my packaged component is successfully created. Now it's the time for the deployment here. Now I'm going to click on this deploy button. Now if I want to deploy this process, I need to choose the respective environment here. This is the test environment, and here I need to give the deployment nodes. What is the deployment nodes here? CSV to XML transformation here. Now if I come here, I'm unable to see the tab here. Now if I come here, I need to select the respective tab. So because of that reason, I'm going to choose the tab space again and again. Now here I'm going to see the review button. Now I'm going to deploy this one. Now the deployment is successful. Now if I want to see the deployments, I'm going to click on this view deployments. Now here, this is the process which I have developed. So sometimes whenever you are working for support and monitoring projects, okay, whenever you are working for support and monitoring projects, at that point of time, your respective development teams are going to ask you to check what all the process has been deployed in the last week, last hour, 24 hours with the specific range here. So we need to apply the filters, and accordingly we need to check and we need to generate the report here. Okay. Your respective development teams or functional teams, they are going to ask you to check. They will be giving one process name, or they will be giving the component name, or they are going to give the environment type or deployment date or deployed by. So with the different filters they are going to share, and they are going to ask you to apply the filters and to check whether they have been deployed. Sometimes they are going to give the process name, and they are going to ask you when they have deployed that process, who is the owner of that process. Like that, they are going to ask you randomly. So at that point of time, you need to apply these filters, and you need to apply the specific date ranges, and you need to filter out here. And here in this gray box, we are having different functionalities here. So if I want to deploy this process to the different environment, I have to select deploy to the different environment. If I want to come back to the previous version, I can select this rollback here. If I want to undeploy this one, I can undeploy. Deployment history. If I want to check the deployment history of the particular process, I can go to the deployment history. I can compare the different deployments here. And here we are having copy to the component explorer. So sometimes if I want to copy the process, whatever I have developed here, if I select on this copy to the component explorer, whatever the development activity we have done, everything will be moved to the component explorer here. Okay. So like this, we need to apply the filters, and we need to generate the data based on our requirement here. Now I have created the packaged component, and I have deployed the process here. Now here, now it's the time to run the scheduler here. Okay, whatever the process I have developed here, now it's the time to run the scheduler here. If I want to run the scheduler, what I have to do? I have to select the respective atom which is attached to the environment. This is the atom which I have attached to this environment. Now here, if I come to this, here I will be able to see the deployed process here. Okay, this is the atom which is attached to this environment. Under this environment, what all the process we have deployed here. So if I want to check, I need to click on this deployed process. So here you will be able to see the list of process which we have deployed here. So being learning purpose, I am having only one process which I have deployed here. But whenever we are working in real time, we'll be able to see hundreds or thousands of processes which they have deployed here with the specific runtime engine or with the specific environment classification here. Okay, for time being, I'm having only one process here. And here we are having the schedules option. So here, stop all schedules, resume all schedules. Stop all schedules in the sense, suppose if I'm working for any banking project, okay, if I'm working for any banking project, so during weekends, we are going to get one message. This is the time period where the maintenance activity is going to happen. Like that, we are going to get the mail notification or message notification. So at that point of time, the respective teams will inform the backend support teams to stop all the schedules of the process, whatever I have developed. So if I click this button, okay, if I click this stop all schedules, it means that if I am having hundreds or thousands of process, all the process schedules is going to stop at a time. Here, resume all schedules. Here, resume all schedules in the sense, once the maintenance activity is completed, suppose if they are going to do some patchwork, if the some maintenance activity is completed, so they are going to intimate the backend support team to resume all the schedules. If I click on this resume all schedules, so automatically all the schedules are going to run as expected here. Now, if I want to configure the schedule for a specific process, if I want to configure the scheduler for a specific process, at that point of time, I need to select on this respective process, and here I need to select execute process. If I select this execute process, it means that it is going to execute manually. And here stop schedule. Stop schedules in the sense, if I want to stop the schedule of this particular process here, okay, if I want to stop the schedule of the specific process, I need to select the stop schedules here. Edit schedules in the sense, if I want to configure the scheduler for any specific process, I need to select the edit schedule here. So if I come to the scheduling option, okay, if I come to the scheduling option, so if I want to add the scheduler, I have to click on this add button. Once after clicking on this add button, here we are having multiple options here. Okay, we are having multiple options here. The minimum time limit to run the scheduler is 1 minute here. Okay, the minimum time limit to run the scheduler is 1 minute. Okay, now here start time is midnight 0 and end time is next day 23 hours 59 minutes. Okay, so the minimum time limit to run the scheduler is 1 minute and start time is midnight 12 o'clock and end time is next day midnight 23 hours 59 minutes. Now here we are having the interval. So if I want to run the scheduler for every 1 minute, I can give 1. If I want to run the scheduler for every 2 minutes, I can give 2. If I want to run the scheduler for every 15 minutes, I can give 15. So now I am going to give the time interval of 1 minute. So the scheduler has to run at the time interval of 1 minute. Okay. Now here we are having the option to choose on which specific date we need to run the scheduler. So here I can configure based on my requirement. So today is Thursday. I am going to give this. It has to run as per the scheduler on every Thursday here. Okay, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. every minute on one of 7 days. What? 1 of 7 days in the sense on the specific Thursday. If I want to add one more scheduler to different day, so here I have configured this one for every 1 minute. Now I am interested to configure this one on hourly basis. So here I am going to choose midnight 12 and here I am going to choose the next day 23 hours. And now I am interested to run the scheduler for every 1 hour. So this type of 1 hour scheduler is going to happen in the NEFT banking transactions. Why? Because if I transfer any funds between 10 to 11 o'clock, all the transactions, whatever I have done in between 10 to 11 o'clock, the scheduler is going to run at 11 o'clock as batch process here. Okay, so all the transactions, whatever I have done within that 1 hour specified time, so all those transactions are going to run on the 11th hour. In the same way 12th hour, like that. So now I am going to configure this one on hourly basis. So I am interested to have this one every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and for Friday I am going to give the different scheduler here. So here I am having the minute, hour, day. On Friday I am interested to run the scheduler on the specific hour. Specific hour in the sense at midnight 1 o'clock I'm interested to run the scheduler. So like this, if I'm interested to run the scheduler on every Friday, I'm going to select Friday, Saturday and Sunday, like this. So overall here I'm going to have this one 1 of 7 days, 4 of 7 days and every day. So like this, we need to run the scheduler based on my requirement here. If I want to delete any scheduler, I have to select this delete option here. Okay, now here we are having one more option, advanced option. If I select this advanced option here, if I want to run this scheduler, okay, if I want to run this scheduler on any specific minute, okay, if I want to run this scheduler on any specific minute, so let's take example. If I am interested to run this scheduler on every 59th minute, I can select 59. On specific hour, on the specific days of the week, on the specific days of the month. So all these options will be depending based on my requirement. So here if I say days of the month, in the sense on every last working day of the month, our payroll is going to get generated. How this is going to work here? So based on the last working day of the month and as per the scheduler they have given here, accordingly our salaries are going to get credited here. And here months here. So months in the sense, let's take example, we are going to file our IT returns. So if I want to file the IT returns, here they are going to configure month, in the sense they are going to select the 7th month, that is nothing but July, and here they are going to select the days 31st July, and here year also they are going to select. So if I want to consolidate based on my specific requirement, at that point of time I have to use the advanced option here. So based on the advanced option, I can configure based on my requirement here. Okay, now coming to this retry option. So here maximum retries are 5. When this retry option is going to work? So this retry option is going to work, suppose in order to run the scheduler, if I'm going to give the time period of 1 minute, okay, I'm going to give the time period of 1 minute. So because of some network delay, and if the process is unable to pick up the file like that, at that point of time, 1 second guys, please be on the line. Okay, now here retry option is helpful for me to check the maximum number of retries. How this is going to work? Suppose here I have configured to run the scheduler for every 1 minute. So whenever this scheduler is going to run, because of some network delay, or because of having some load on the input file, if it is unable to execute within the time limit, all those transactions will get failed. So at that point of time, we need to give the retry attempt. So when this retry attempt is going to work, so let's take example. Okay, let's take example. In the banking transactions, we might be transferring funds to any of our friends with NEFT transaction. Sometimes the amount will get credited by around 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. So sometimes it is going to get credited end of the day. And sometimes on our salary payroll date, sometimes our salary is going to get credited in the morning 10 or 11 o'clock. Sometimes our HR is going to tell you, because of some issue, your salary is not getting credited till wait till end of the day, and if the salary is not getting credited, intimate us. So if any issue is going to happen whenever the scheduler is running, so all those failed transactions will have the retry attempt at the end of the day. At the end of the day, in the sense, in the banking close hours, they are going to give the retry attempts. So here maximum 5 retry attempts we can attempt here, and here based on that we can run the scheduler. So when this retry has to happen, so according to my requirement, I'm going to give the retry option here. Okay, based on the scheduler, I'm going to configure here. Accordingly, this retry attempt is going to happen here. Okay, so if I want to execute this one, I can give the configurations and schedulers accordingly, and this retry attempt I can give here. So now I'm going to configure the execution. It has to happen at midnight 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. every minute on one of 7 days. So now here I have given the every Thursday here, and I'm going to click on OK. Once after clicking on OK, the scheduler is going to execute for every 1 minute as per our expected time here. So wait for some time. It is going to show you schedules saved here. Okay, whatever the scheduler I have configured here, that has saved here. Now, based on the configurations I have done, I need to go to the reporting here. So whatever the configurations I have done, now all the executions I have to see in one page. So what is that page here? That is nothing but the process reporting tab. If I click on this process reporting tab here I am able to see this log symbol. What is this log symbol? This indicates the manual execution. Manual execution in the sense, so as I have entered execute manually, this is the manual execution. Okay, this log symbol execute indicates manual execution. So whenever you are attached to the support and monitoring project, your responsibility is that you need to check the health status of the executions, whatever we are going to happen here. Okay, we need to check the health status. So here being one process, I am able to see only one record here. So whenever we are working real time, we might be having very big landscapes where multiple processes are going to run simultaneously. As a monitoring, if I'm attached to the monitoring project, and at that point of time, your responsibility is that to check the health status of all the records here. Okay, so as I have configured this one for every 1 minute, see this calendar indicates that scheduled execution. This log symbol indicates a manual execution here. So whenever this is a scheduled execution for each and every schedule, being one process, this is going to generate one record for every 1 minute. Whenever I'm having multiple process, it is going to generate multiple records simultaneously. So because of that reason, so as a monitoring support project executive, your responsibility is that to check the health status of all the records. So this green color indicates that process is executing properly. If because of some reason, because of some network delay, because of some issue, if you are going to see red color, it means that that particular data is getting failed here. So at that point of time, you need to inform to your development team or your reporting manager saying that, so these many transactions are getting failed like that. So based on that, your manager is going to tell you to diagnose the issue or to report to the respective development team here. And at the same time, you might be having some other tasks. Okay, as you are working in support and monitoring project, your manager is going to ask you, or your development team is going to ask you to generate the report on every hourly basis here. So they are going to ask you to generate the report on every hourly basis. And what is that report? Sometimes your manager is going to ask you, hi team, could you please generate the errors data report on every hour basis? So at that point of time, what you have to do here, you need to apply the hour basis, and then you need to check what are the errors you are going to see here. So based on that, you need to generate the report. So once you generate the errors related report here, so now it is helpful for your manager to check exactly when this respective errors are going to happen, and based on that errors, they are going to stabilize the system here. Okay, now here I'm able to see the time, process name, and here we are having the actions also. So if I want to go back to the process, I can go to the view process here, deployment components, process state, and all these things we are able to see here. Now if I want to filter out, so sometimes your manager is going to give you specific date range. Okay, they are going to ask you last week, could you please check in the specific time zone what all the errors we have fetched here. So at that point of time, we can apply the filters and you can click on these errors. So based on that, you will be able to see the respective errors details information. Here the pending information and here the success information. If I want to see all as a whole, I can see all as a whole here. So like that, we can see the reporting tab here. And here we are having the filters also. Sometimes they are going to give the specific item or specific process name, execution ID. So based on these values, we can fetch the data here. Okay. So these are the logs or processing reporting view here. Whenever you are tagging for the monitoring project, your responsibility is that you need to check every minute now and then, and you need to be cautious. If any error is going to get with the red color indication, you need to inform to your respective teams saying that this error is going to get notified in this particular timestamp here. Sometimes we are going to get errors continuously. So we need to check any maintenance activity is going to happen. If any maintenance activity is going to happen, at that particular point of time, we are going to get the continuous errors here. At that point of time, we need to inform to the respective development team. So hi team, some maintenance activity is happening. So because of that reason, we are going to get continuous errors here. We need to wait for the rescheduler to restart here. Like that, we need to inform and we need to close or monitorly this process reporting tab. How to come to the process reporting tab? So here I need to select the process reporting and then I need to check each and every execution here. Okay. Now, if I want to stop the execution, let's take example. If I want to stop the execution, what I have to do here? I have to come back to this manage tab and I have to come to the auto management and I need to select on this respective atom. And here I need to select the deployed process here. And here I need to select the stop schedules. If I select the stop schedules, automatically if here this orange color will come, automatically the execution is going to stop. In the respective way, this process reporting tab, these reports are also going to get stopped. Why? Because the scheduler has been stopped. So because of that reason, these reports are also going to get stopped here.